Kadena. So Kadena have a very strong team in terms of the reach that they've got, the reputation that they've got. It's looking like I think if they're gonna have success, I think part of that is going to be down to the connections that they have. I think another part of that is going to be, obviously the development that we see on Kadena, which I think has been a little slow, but we'll take a look at everything to do with Kadena and see what this can hit in the next bull cycle. Before I get into that though, guys, if you're new to the channel, these are the first 26 coins that I did videos about on the channel. In the videos, I showed everyone that I was buying up all of these coins because I expected them to rocket up in price. And you can see what the prices of all these coins were when I recorded my videos, as well as the highs that these coins hit less than a year and a half on. It was about 16, 17 months on. And what the profit would have been from $100 into each one. So if you had done that, just bought in $100 into every single one when I released the videos, and sat on them for 16, 17 months and then sold them, your profit from that would have been over 123 grand, which is not too bad. Now, I sold all of these. We had the market crash, and since the market crash, I've been buying up new coins. These are coins that I think can 40x, 50x, 100x. And I share them on my website, which is copymycrypto.com. Now, when I find a coin that can do the kind of gains that I was talking about with Phantom, I jump onto the site and I tell the members what the coin is, what kind of gains I think it can have, and what percentage of my money I'm putting in. So it means the members can copy along exactly. When I did the Phantom course, I did that as well. And I did a whole course about why Phantom would 100x or more. And anyone that got in on that, and there were people that took that course that put in thousands of dollars. Phantom did nearly a 700x. So people became millionaires from Phantom. That's the difference. That's the impact one big coin can have, one big gainer can have. So when I find them, I share them on my site. And what that means is members can copy along. It means they don't have to, they make the exact same profit I do, because I'll tell them when I'm selling my coins as well. And also they don't have to do any work. They don't have to, read white papers or any of that stuff. So if that sounds good to you, pause the vid, go on to copymycrypto.com. There's a link in the description. And on the site, you'll see what the members have earned. You'll see what I've said in the past. There's a clip of the Phantom course. All of it's public record, so you can verify it all yourselves. And if you like what you see, guys, join me there. So Kadena. Kadena is currently knocking around 73 cents. All-time high was about $20, $24. In fact, let's double check that. $28. So it is worth noting with Kadena, only about a quarter of the coins are out right now. There's still another 750 million to be released. Now, Kadena, I actually want to talk about the founders before I even talk about Kadena. So the founders are Stuart Popejoy and Will Martino. Now, Stuart Popejoy led JP Morgan's emerging blockchain group, actually created the first blockchain for JP Morgan. And Will Martino was the lead engineer for the JP Morgan blockchain prototype that they called Juno. They also led the SEC's cryptocurrency steering committee. And in fact, they define it. They even talk about this on their Twitter. And they say, who created JP Morgan's first blockchain and helped start the SEC's crypto group. Now, that for me wouldn't be a particular thing I'd want to brag about, because the SEC have been trying to fuck with crypto for so damn long. But someone had to start it, I guess. Anyway, but having the ties with JP Morgan bodes really, really well. Having those ties with big VCs as well, because Multicoin got in on this, Coin Fund, Amino Capital, and there were others. These guys both have really solid foundations within not only traditional finance but now crypto. What bodes really well for these guys as well is fundamentally, with the connections that they've got, they could do very, very well. They onboard some banks, or in theory they onboard just bigger businesses, because you will have, if you're rubbing shoulders with JP Morgan rub shoulders with plenty of massive businesses. So Kadena in theory could be perfect to double down with businesses. It's actually a proof of work blockchain, but it combines with a DAG network. So it's like a scalable version of Bitcoin. Now, they've already scaled their network from 10 to 20 blockchains and can do so again in the future. If necessary, this final addition to Kadena was its private Kuro layer 2 blockchain, which can support up to 8,000 transactions per second across 500 nodes. And as you obviously increase the number of blockchains that you have, you increase the amount of transactions that can be done per second. So it's actually very promising as a blockchain, because what it means is as they continue to add blockchains, more throughput can happen, more transactions per second, lower fees in theory can happen as well. And fair play to the Kadena team; they are quite communicative with the community. They're talking about holiday giveaways, and they're trying to get the community as engaged as they can. So they were doing like a holiday giveaway for a Ledger Nano Plus, and they've reposted a few bits and bobs. As you can see, teamwork stuff. But overall, right, Kadena's quite promising. The downside for me here, from ecosystem point, is I don't think the ecosystem is that good right now. I think there has to be some work. I don't think Whale Coin Talk is necessarily like an ecosystem, part of the ecosystem in the way that they're trying to present. It's a marketing tool, and it could be very, very good in the same way Unit is. They've got, they're showing their explorers. Now explorers are necessary, of course. But in terms of like projects that people want to use, I'm not really seeing much. They've got Kadena Swap as an AMM. They've got KD Swap. They've got Echo DAO. So they've got a few bits and bobs. Interoperability. They've got some wrapped assets that can be bridged. Payments, they use, they're integrated with Zoid Pay. Tokenization, as I said, they can use Unit and TokenSoft. It's not great, is what I'll say. I think there needs to be some work on the overall growth of this ecosystem. They had their DEX-wise, it's pretty weak overall. It's pretty weak on DeFi in general. Gaming. You see, gaming for me, I think gaming's could work perfectly. UFO gaming is a game that's played pretty commonly in the crypto space, but with a potential of 8,000 transactions per second, but then you've got 20 plus blockchains as well. In theory, this should be a perfect sort of blockchain for gaming, and there's just not been any growth in this area at all. So, their whole thing is they've got a grant system in place so they can just push for innovation. It doesn't feel like the grant system is being used much at the moment. We've not seen like a surge in growth here for Kadena. I think they've got a very, 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 very strong team who have very, very useful connections, which long-term connections are something that is going to make you money. Like networking, there's a reason people talk about networking so often when they're trying to go up a level. It's because you need to know people that can help you along the way, and their network is really damn strong. But in terms of what they've got at the moment, most of what they've got is infrastructure. that's about it, really. They've got some good marketing tools as well. They've got some wallets, but we're not seeing this isn't an active ecosystem for users. Like, if you are a user of crypto, if you want to trade crypto, if you want to, if you want to use a DeFi or whatever, this is not for you, because it's just so damn small. So there is definitely work that needs doing here for growth, because it is lacking. I do think this is probably going to rally quite reasonably. I don't think a new all-time high is coming, because I don't see enough significant growth in terms of the overall ecosystem. The price I'd be looking at the moment would only be about $10, which, that's still not bad. Who's going to complain about that? That's about 14 times your money or so. But I think the hope for these guys in terms of like a new all-time high in price would come from better growth. So we would need to see like a real surge in DeFi, or we would need to see, because again, this has got the potential for businesses to use it really well and effectively. So if they connected with some big name companies, or they just improve their network or their ecosystem so that users are actively jumping onto Kadena to use it, that would be important. The other thing is obviously their network connections. If they're, if we start seeing a bank referencing them alone, that would be, that would cause a pretty good surge. But right now, without the development, without the DeFi ecosystem looking any good, without the metaverse ecosystem looking any good, I'm hesitant to say this is going to do anything like a new all-time high, because it's just too underdeveloped right now. But again, they've got the connections that they could land big businesses. Landing one big business would maybe enough to cause a new all-time high. Otherwise, if they want to see the growth, they've got to make this user-friendly and give people features that they can use. People want to use yield farm. People want to use DEXs. People want to use, AMMs, lending and borrowing, all of these things, and we're just lacking right now. But I do think, like I say, I do think this will run up, but I'm hesitant to say anything more than $10. In theory, I suppose you could go half of its all-time high, which is $28, so you could go $14, but I'm not convinced by that right now. But let me know what you guys think. If you are using Kadena, how do you find it? If you don't use Kadena, why don't you use it? Let me know in the comments down below, because the founders and the project managers and people read these comments, so if you can give them some value, they might take it on board and actually improve the ecosystem. Guys, if you just want to make the same profits as me in the next bull cycle without having to do any work whatsoever, that is what copymycrypto.com is. It's where I dive into the markets every single day. When I find a coin that can go up, 40x, 50x, 100x, like I said with Phantom, and what I do is I jump on board and I tell my members all about the coin. I tell them what the coin is, what profits I think it can have, just what money I'm going to make from it, and what money I'm putting into it, so they can copy along exactly. It just means they're making the exact same profits. Also, as well, big benefit is, look, you don't have to be diving into these markets every day like me, because I'm doing that. So you don't have to read white papers or learn about new tech or learn about who the founders and what projects are and all of that stuff. And if it sounds good to you, like I say, just head over to copymycrypto.com and just check through the site. Watch the videos. There's a video there of me talking about Phantom and why Phantom would 100x. There's a video on there of me telling people to get out of a DeFi protocol that did die a death, lost about $500 million. There's, you can see what the members have earned. Everything on their site is public records. If you go through the old videos on this channel, you can verify it all. And if you like what you see, guys, just join me there. and make crypto easy for yourself. And that's it from me. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.